Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Daniel Montgomery, Gold Derby Senior Editor, here with Gold Derby contributors Cordell Martin and Jeffrey Kare. We are here to talk about the season 32 premiere, which almost didn't happen because of the writer's strike, which was resolved 2 days before the show was scheduled to premiere. Um, and Matt Walsh announced that he would delay his participation on the show until the resolution of the strike. And now he can continue to step away from the show because he was eliminated first, which was a little sus to me. What did you think about that, Cordell?
Yeah, well, glad to kick off another season. As you can see, I'm in the Dance with the Stars mood. um, yeah, I was a little bummed for Matt that he was the first one out, especially with him just being in solidarity with the WGA during the strike. I thought maybe he would have gotten a little leeway in terms of the fan votes, but it just didn't work in his favor. So
Yeah, I really thought the fans would be in his corner. He's one of those contestants, and his performance was one of those like really fun,
mhm.
uh, you know, entertaining routines that isn't well danced necessarily, but has that entertainment factor that usually gets you a fan following. What did you think about that, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought he and Coco did decent work, and yeah, that was such a shame that, just when Matt rejoined the show after being on the picket lines, he's gone again. One has to wonder if, his performance tonight was just a little, probably too late in the night for him to gain enough support.
Yeah, when you perform late, especially if you're a celebrity who doesn't already have like a built-in fan base, I can imagine that being a disadvantage because you have to sort of introduce viewers to you like immediately and stand out. Um, and the two other low scorers who ended up safe, Tyson Beckford and Harry Jowsey, they performed earlier in the night, so they had a chance to develop that fan base. How much of a fan base do you think those two are going to have, or was this just kind of a lucky kind of break for them, Cordell?
I think for those two in particular, I think they could last like a few weeks. Tyson, it's gonna depend on how well he improves. He's not gonna be able to just get by with his good looks. That will only last for so long with him. Harry, I could see Harry becoming someone like a Vinny that was on a couple of seasons that just has that endearing spirit that people just root for. So he could last longer than expected. But I think they'll have the fan votes at least for the next couple of weeks. I'm definitely concerned that Mauricio from the Housewives of Beverly Hills, I feel like he's gonna fall victim to that Housewives curse that they just don't have the fan base, although they're a huge ratings getter, but when it comes to Dance Stars, just not having that support.
Yeah, and he's not even one of the housewives. He's just
Exactly.
the house.
That's worse for him.
He's not even one of the title characters on the
Uh-huh.
show.
Mhm.
What do you think about Tyson and Harry and Mauricio, Jeffrey?
Well, Tyson and Harry, I thought both of them looked like they were being upstaged by their partners. And so, well, yeah, I don't see them making it too far in the competition. Of course, Tyson especially, well, there's also other things going around him that, should make you wonder how far he's going to make it. And Mauricio, I mean, I thought he was probably the biggest surprise of the night to me. I mean, I thought he did better than I thought, but yeah, I do echo what Cordell said, that, there's the question of, the fan, if he has enough of a fan base to support him, and especially since he's obviously not one of the titular housewives.
And while the Real Housewives don't seem to have much of a fan base that follows them on to Dancing with the Stars, the Bachelor and Bachelorette do. So moving up to the top of the leaderboard, Charity Lawson, the reigning Bachelorette, and potentially the fourth Bachelorette in the last 5 seasons to make the finals or win. Um, she can dance. We know that she can dance now.
Mhm.
Cordell, do you think can we wrap up this season now? Is it a done deal?
I wouldn't say all that. I do think Charity does have a great shot to be a lock in the finals. But, there's just always that one exception. I mean, in the early years of Dance to Stars, it was always the football players who were either in the finals or winning. And then after a while, they kind of fell off in terms of being those locked contenders. So I hope she makes it to the finals. I was impressed by her week 1 dance. But just knowing the track record thus far, I would definitely bet money that she'll be in the finals at least.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
I co-sign, I mean, already Charity is proven to be one of the better bachelorette alums in the competition. I thought she and Artem were both phenomenal. And, if they make it to the finals, I wouldn't complain one bit, even though, yeah, I wouldn't, but although I wouldn't say they're the front runners just yet, even though I did just put them in #1 in my predictions, but yeah, this could get competitive, but yeah, I think she has potential to go all the way to the finals at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one performer who really impressed me, who I was rooting for and did extraordinarily well, was my favorite performance of the night, was Jason Mraz, who I think, and you never know with like a musician what they're gonna bring to a performance like a dance. But not only did he have the rhythm and the timing and the skill, he had the personality. Like that was the pleasant surprise there, is that he was able to emote on the dance floor very openly and very charismatically. What did you think about him, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I was pleasantly surprised because you just never know. And since he's not known to be like a dancer, like past contestants, it could just go either way. But to your point, I think what's going to help him and what usually helps a lot of the male celebrities is that personality that really sells them to the audience. For the female celebrities, they have to work twice as hard or just have that personality to really get that fan support. But I think he is definitely a dark horse as long as he just continues to improve week after week and just bring out his personality. He's definitely someone to look out for.
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah, he's another. I think Jason Mraz is another potential winner. I mean, at least he is another potential finalist for the finals. So yeah, he and Daniela were great, and to add to what's been said about you never know with these musicians in the ballroom. Well, I mean, let's see, he probably could have the fan base to back him up, and not to mention he has done Broadway, albeit I don't believe his character in Waitress was a dance character. But then again, doing Broadway 8 times a week is no laughing matter, as it does require physical stamina, even when you're not dancing. So, yeah, I can probably see that physicality, his background there helping him out.
And the last contestant in the top 3 of the leaderboard was Ariana Maddox from Vanderpump Rules, who is one of those contestants who I had no context for coming into the season. They made a big deal about. She was part of this affair scandal that I knew nothing about. I wonder how much they're gonna milk this season, because it felt like they made that her entire personality this week. Even though she danced well, so hopefully that's more her personality as well. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, Vanderpump Rules and that whole scandal was like the big water cooler buzz thing about the summer. To your point, I just didn't know if she could dance or not. Just the track record with those Bravo reality stars. But once I knew she was the last one dancing, I was like, okay, they're keeping her for all the drama. But plus, I'm sure she can bust a move or two. So she definitely held her own on the dance floor. She would be definitely a contender. Really curious just about her fan base. I think it's still early on that she hasn't been tested yet, but we'll see how long and how far she'll be able to go throughout the season.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I thought she and Pasha were incredible, and again, they could be another pair to watch out for, as someone who could potentially make it to the finals. But although, yeah, it is untested whether or not her fan base is strong enough to support her throughout the season, and and if it is strong enough, then I imagine she'll probably get a lot of sympathy for the scandal she was involved with.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who has the fan base, because other than Charity with Bachelor Nation, there's no one this season who feels like they're guaranteed to have that fan vote. I mean, you've got a couple of like social media people like Harry Jousey, Lele Pons, but that doesn't always translate. Charlie D'Amelio won last season, so she definitely had that support. But the online fan bases, the social media fan bases don't always come over to Dancing with the Stars necessarily. And beyond that, you've got Adrian Peterson, who is a little bit, makes me uncomfortable having him in the competition. Not sure how much fan support he's going to get. They had him talk about his infant child and his clip package, and it's like, you don't want to be reminding us about him and children. Does Jamie Lynn Spears have the Disney fan base?
Don't you mean Nickelodeon?
Oh, Nickelodeon fan base. I see. I even lose track of these things. And will that come over here, or will there be any Britney fans who are like not necessarily with that? What do you think about the potential fan bases, Cordell?
Yeah, I think to your point, what's going to be interesting this season, because last season it was on Disney Plus. So a lot of your traditional viewers of Dance with Stars probably wasn't watching last season. So now you have them back in the mix. So a lot of stars like Barry Williams might last a little bit longer because that older fan base is tuning back in, hopefully. To your guys' point, it's going to be very interesting just to see who has the fan base. I think we're going to be in for a surprise week after week until it gets down to like those final 4 or 5 contestants. I could definitely see it like changing week after week with the bottom 2 contestants. And now, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's no judges saved this season, correct?
Well, there wasn't one in the premiere, so
Yeah.
that it's done with this, at least for this season.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, but it'll be very interesting. I think it makes it more exciting too that it's really coming down to like the dances and the fan votes throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about potential fan bases, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, it's gonna be, I agree, it's gonna be interesting. Like, we discuss how, whether or not, if Jamie Lynn Spears will have, people remember her from her days on Nickelodeon, as well as those fans of obviously her sister Brittany, or I guess those who are also fans of her work on the Netflix show Sweet Magnolias. Or there's also a question if, Mira Sorvino with her nostalgia factor from, from Rami Michelle's high school prom or reunion, whatever it's called, or I mean, but yeah, I mean, and there's, I guess you could, and yeah, I do agree that, yeah, Barry Williams may have, his Brady Bunch fans supporting him, especially since, for an older contestant, he's already proven to be one of the better older contestants on the show. And I guess that there's also, question of, how do you pronounce her name?
Xochitl Gomez, I believe.
Xochitl Gomez. If the Marvel fan base will come rallying around her, or and although I'm not sure if the American Pie fan base or How I Met Your Mother fan base will be there enough for Allison Hannigan if she continues well the way she did from the premiere, unless she improves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping that was just kind of nerves for Allison Hannigan, like she seemed to forget like some of her choreography. I'm an OG Buffy fan, so I'm always going to vote for her and root for her. So I hope that she improves. It definitely was not the best night for her, to say the least. But will she have a better night next week? To know that, we will have to discuss the dances for next week, which have already been revealed. They were announced, I believe yesterday was when the press release was released. So I will go through the dances one by one. I have not taken a look at these in advance, so we can all react to them together.
All right.
Starting with Allison Hannigan, she will perform a tango to Can't Remember to Forget You by Shakira featuring Rihanna.
Okay.
Then we've got Mira Sorvino will perform a salsa to Bailando by Enrique Iglesias. Xochitl Gomez will also performing a salsa to Don't Go Yet by Camila Cabello. Ariana Madix is going to perform a samba, getting our first samba, to Gasolina by Daddy Yankee. Charity Lawson is going to perform a cha-cha to She Bangs by Ricky Martin. All the Ricky Martin songs to choose from.
And the one made infamous by I forgot his name from season 3 of American Idol.
Yeah, William Hung. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Jason Mraz. I think this is going to be good for him. Jason Mraz will perform a rumba to Quizás, Quizás, Quizás by Andrea Bocelli featuring Jennifer Lopez. That's a combo. Supermodel Tyson Beckford will be performing a salsa to Aguanile by Willie Colon and Hector Lavoe. So I'm not sure about him on a salsa. He definitely needs the hip action. Adrian Peterson will also be performing a samba to Taki Taki by DJ Snake featuring Selena Gomez, Ozuna, and Cardi B. Harry Jowsey will perform a salsa to Arranca by Becky G featuring Omega. The Brady Bunch star, Barry Williams, will perform a cha-cha to Oye Como Va by Tito Puente. I feel like that's going to be a challenge for him. Mauricio Umansky will perform a salsa to Quimbara by Celia Cruz, Willie Colon, Johnny Pacheco, and Sue Charanga. I feel like he was asking for a salsa this past week, so
yeah,
maybe he'll get the scores to compensate for maybe a lack of viewer votes. And finally, Jamie Lynn Spears will perform a cha-cha to Shake Senora by Pitbull featuring T-Pain and Sean Paul. So, initial thoughts, Cordell, about any of those? Any of those stand out to you? I can also repeat any if you need.
Looking at it right now just to see. I think Charity's gonna do well. She has a cha-cha, so I think she'll definitely kill it there. Jason, to your point, I think the rumba will definitely be a strong dance for him. I think Ariana and Lily will be good with the samba. Adrian, I think, is definitely gonna be in the bottom 2. Like, just with his dance this past week, I just don't think he's gonna have the skill set needed to do well with the samba. So I definitely can see him being in the bottom 2. If there's anyone else I predict will be in the bottom 2 with him, maybe Tyson or maybe Mauricio, just because of his fan base. But I think everyone else should be pretty solid or see some improvement with their second week dance.
Yeah, I think Mauricio definitely needs to rely on a higher score to stay in the competition, because he's just probably not going to have the fan votes. He did decently well in week 1 and still didn't have the fans, so he definitely needs to be in that upper half of the leaderboard at the very least. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I agree with a lot of what's just been said. I mean, again, there's a lot of interesting song choices here, and I'm curious to see how everyone's gonna do, as well as what the routines are gonna look like, as well as the production value. So, yeah, I'm intrigued.
I'm really excited to see all of these dances. I'm especially rooting for Allison Hannigan on that tango. I'm nervous about her on a tango, because again, that's an intense dance, and this past week she didn't have that kind of intensity. She needs to tap into Evil Willow, from the alternate dimension to really nail that dance. Which honestly, I'd be here for that, like an Evil Willow tango from her.
Yeah.
If she can make it to Halloween, she'll have to do something Buffy inspired or related, just
Yeah.
to give us fans that fan service.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's end by saying who we're all right now predicting to win the Mirrorball Trophy as of, after 1 week on the dance floor. Jeffrey, I think you said you were predicting Charity.
Oh yes, that's where I'm at right now. Of course, we'll see how if who could possibly gain on her tail throughout the competition.
I'm personally hope dicting Jason Mraz at this point. He's someone I want to see in this competition for a while. Just from how good he was that first week and how much I've enjoyed his music. So, he's sort of my hope diction at the moment. If early enough, I feel like I can hope dict.
Well, I do have him second.
Yeah. Who are you going for, Cordell?
Yeah, those are my two. I think it's between Charity and Jason. It could change weeks later from now, but I think it's going to come down between those two.
Well, that's where the competition stands right now. We still have many weeks to go. Anything could happen. We could see frontrunners fall if they don't have the viewer votes. We can see celebrities improve. Who knows? There could be an Iman Shumpert in this group somewhere that we haven't identified yet. So that's one of the excitements of Dancing with the Stars. So thank you, Cordell. Thank you, Jeffrey, for joining me to talk about the show today. And thank you to everyone for watching and or listening. We will see you again next week.